not excited for Tears of the Kingdom. Don't get me wrong, I love Breath of the Wild, and I'm looking forward to playing the sequel for sure. But I avoided the trailers, pre-orders, news, gameplay, even the spoiler-free impressions. And I think it's because I have not allowed myself to get hyped. By the time the Breath of the Wild released, I had given up on hype. But Breath of the Wild was Breath of the Wild. It was so good, it blew past my expectations wildly. And it's making me think twice. So now I want to get hyped, but I'm not. So why can't I? You see, Breath of the Wild means a lot to me. It has an ultimate calmness that I look for in games. I'm not going to go into it here in public, but growing up has been a rocky road. My childhood wasn't the worst, I know. I have plenty of things to be thankful for sure. It's just that I've reached the age where I'm beginning to understand how I tick at a deeper level, and how I've made things work, healthy or unhealthy. And when my brain is tired and beaten, Breath of the Wild has been there to massage it back into shape. And it's been there for me in the darker times too. There was a time in 2018 when my job as a software developer required me to crunch. That is, working 10 to 30 hours of overtime for several months, almost a year straight. And without doxing myself, I can say it was worth it, but I developed some pretty unhealthy habits. I had sleep procrastination, I was slamming a couple monsters a day, I was staying up until 5 a.m. on weekends, and I was eating whatever the heck I wanted. I couldn't escape the stress. It was like a sumo wrestler decided to incubate an ostrich on my chest. Sundays were the worst. I was always irritated because in a few waking hours, I'd be back at work again, laying tracks in front of the train as it picks up speed. But Breath of the Wild was there to fill in the gaps, like a brain spa without expectations, ready to let me exhale. And when I lost my cat, Gunther, last year, my wife and I used Breath of the Wild to get by when the waves of grief were the strongest. We started a new game and just played. So Breath of the Wild means more to me than just an escape. It rejuvenates me. It's like a quiet room for my brain to take a breath and get ready for tomorrow. So you might think, wouldn't this mean Tears of the Kingdom is even more exciting? Not exactly. I've been here before. Games have always done this for me, and I used to be really excited for them. But they failed me. I was super hyped about Skyward Sword on the original Wii, but it failed me by locking a good game behind a broken controller mechanic. And side note, if it worked for you, I'm happy for you, you bastard. It did not for me, even though I masochistically tried pushing through 75% of the game with multiple controllers before finally giving up. In another game, No Man's Sky, I was super looking forward to. It was going to be the ultimate science fiction exploration simulator, but I ended up spending 30 hours trying to convince myself I wanted to keep playing. Fallout 76 was supposed to be a breakthrough. Imagine emerging from the vault to the same oppressive wasteland we explored in Fallout 3 and 4, but this time with your friends. That was a load of crap. Daryl Talks Games is an awesome channel that uses psychology to gain insight into video games. He uses the study of how the brain works to understand why we feel and experience games the way we do. And in his most recent video, Daryl talks about hype. I do highly recommend watching this video, so I'll put it in the end screen so you can just continue on to watch it. But in it, he discusses the difference between an optimistic and pessimistic outlook on upcoming games, and how being hyped for a game can almost be more, if not more, exciting than actually having the game be good. And on the flip side, having lower expectations almost always lead to a happier emotional state. At the end of it, Daryl recommends, and I really do recommend watching the video, it's really good, better than this video for sure. He recommends hype in moderation. Keep in mind that games don't always turn out good, but you only get to be excited for an upcoming game once. I most certainly fall in the pessimistic camp. With Fallout 76, I finally realized that it didn't really pay to anticipate games. Launching the game that first night after it dropped and realizing how big of a fat steaming stinker it was made me think, you know, it really doesn't matter how excited I am for the game. It doesn't matter how good the trailers and teasers look. It literally has no effect on how good the game is going to be when it launches. And I realized that with everything I'm dealing with in my life, with as full as my cup was every night, I didn't need the added stress, that hot feeling in your chest when the disappointment hits, when you understand how not good that game you were looking forward to actually is. I didn't need the anger. During my life, I've learned that anger is a defensive emotion. So what am I defending against? Well, it'd be easy to say I'm defending against the game being bad, but I don't think that's the actual root cause. I have to say, I think I'm defending against my own expectations. I'm not sure that's the best answer, but changing my expectations would certainly solve the anger problem. So I stopped. No more hype, no more pre-orders, no more poring over pre-launch news, no more hanging off every detail. And it worked. I was one of the rare ones that actually enjoyed Cyberpunk 2077 when it released. I mean, I know I was fortunate to have a PC that could play it, so that's pretty privileged, but I was free to enjoy it for what it was and not what it was promised to be. Now, instead of rushing to get the next game release, I'm able to sit back and wait a week or two and wait for the reviews, which are so important nowadays. I do forget about games that I'm interested in and end up missing them at release from time to time, but I no longer feel the bad brain juice. I avoid disappointment. Mission success. But Tears of the Kingdom is a Legend of Zelda game. It's the sequel to one of my all-time favorites, Breath of the Wild. Why am I not at least a little excited? I want to be excited. I actually want to get hyped. I mean, I love Breath of the Wild so much and wanted to stay in the game so much, I actually collected all the Korok seeds and made a video out of the last 500 or so. Tears of the Kingdom has to be at least more of the same, right? I don't know, maybe this feeling of wanting to be hyped is really FOMO or fear of missing out. I mean, it was really Daryl's video that made me realize I am missing something in the first place. Still haven't watched the trailers, gameplay sneak peeks, first impressions, and that's on me. So maybe I've made this bed and I'm gonna sleep in it. I can say I am looking forward to playing Tears of the Kingdom. Maybe I need some kind of event to get into the hype and watch everything at the last minute right before the game comes out. But would that avoid the disappointment? I don't know. I'll have to give it a try. Well, I think that's about enough rambling for today. With Tears of the Kingdom coming out this Friday, I'm really thinking out loud about the existential crisis that Daryl Talks Games caused with me. I didn't even think about the fact that I might be missing out on the hype. You see all the toxic effects of hype, like Twitter death threats and, game developers going dark on social media because of the harassment. And you'd think that hype is good not to have, but I don't know. I feel like I really am missing something now. So what do you think? How are you getting hyped for Tears of the Kingdom? I know that I will be playing Tears of the Kingdom when it comes out, as soon as it comes out. So if you want to see me play it on this channel, let me know in the comments. And let me know if you have any ideas for me to get excited for Tears of the Kingdom. I do stream on Twitch, and I'm considering playing Tears of the Kingdom on Twitch, but, everyone and their mother will be as well. So I haven't decided. Anyway, thank you for watching. My Twitch is twitch.tv/Krakenfall, and I stream on Thursdays and Fridays, and on the weekends if I can. Got a VOD channel where I store all of my old streams, but that's a little bit behind, so it's got a backlog to catch up on. I am trying to level up this channel a lot, so thanks for waiting if you are a subscriber already. If you haven't subscribed, stick around. See if you want to subscribe. Whatever the case, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I hope you enjoy Tears of the Kingdom. I hope it's good. I'm going to go try and get hyped now. See you later.